the swing band concentrates on really focusing on your hands. And your hands obviously are the only contact you have with the golf club. So as a result, they're the most important part of any golf swing is what you do with your hands. And that's really where the swing band, focuses its attention, if you will, giving you a proper feel for what you need to do. So as a result, it can help you with all phases of the game. I mean, from the long game to the short game to your putting, there's uses for the swing band. Let's talk about the swing band and how it helps your hand and arm motion in the golf swing. There's a lot written in golf about what's the most important thing, your hands, your arms, your body, and a lot of teachers teach different methods and systems, if you will, of, some people think the body's more important, some people think the hands are more important. But to me, there's no doubt that the most important thing in the golf swing are what your hands and arms are doing and your wrists, because your hands are the only control over the club face. And it's the primary control, obviously, over the golf club because it's your only contact with the golf club. So to have a good, repeating, powerful golf swing, you have to have a good hand and arm motion. And the swing band can really help you in many different ways. I mean, one way, obviously, is just in keeping your hands together on the golf club, because a lot of amateurs have trouble where their hands are kind of coming off the club during their swing. Even at impact, you see players where their hands come off the golf club. So ideally, your hands are staying together with a constant pressure on them, and you'll feel that as you go back. Now, the swing band will help you, in your backswing, keeping your hands in a good position, but also that keeps your arms in a better position. If your arms get out of position, you're going to notice that the tension in the swing band is changing a lot. But if you can keep that tension the same, you're going to notice that your hands and arms are in front of your body. That's a huge benefit, to the getting the backswing right, and the swing band really can give you some help doing that. So notice that the pressure, start over again here, Colby, is a certain way at the beginning, and you keep it that way as you go back. So your arms are staying in front of you, and that swing band's staying in with the same look that you had at address, but it also feels the same as you go back. If you feel something changing, then you know that you're out of position. And another thing you'll notice is players that get to the wrong position at the top of their swing. You can see this, from this camera back here. If I get the club in a shut position, Colby's got his left wrist really bowed there, and you can see now that obviously you feel a difference there, don't you, with the way the swing band is?
Absolutely. If I just relax, you can see the swing band's going to hold my left wrist there in a pretty flat position. It's definitely not going to be cupped or bowed too much.
And that's something that's going to have a huge impact on somebody's ball flight. If you bow your wrist at the top, the club face closes. If you cup your wrist at the top, the club face opens. And we all know that an open club face causes a slice, a closed club face causes a hook. A closed club face is going to hit the ball, very low. An open club face is going to hit it weak and real high. So you want a neutral wrist position at the top of the swing. Now, as you start to come down, you want to really maintain that same position. If it doesn't do you any good to be square at the top and shut coming down, or square at the top and wide open coming down. You want to have that same feeling with the swing band, then your club face is going to be the same coming down into the golf ball. If you hit the golf ball too low, you probably have it stuck back here. So you'll want to feel a little bit more of this coming down, a little more open, a little more cupped with your wrist, if you will, as opposed to bowed. But really what you're looking for is the same position you had really at address and the same position you had in the takeaway. You're looking for that again as you bring the golf club down into the golf ball. Now, probably, obviously the moment of impact is the part that you got to get correct. I mean, everything you do in the golf swing is just to make it so that you can make a correct impact. And that means that you want to square the golf club, you want to release the club with the correct amount of loft. So you not only have the club face square, but you have the correct amount of loft. To do that, you want to square the back of your left hand. Now, what a lot of people have a tendency to do is they will hit shots that obviously are not solid. I mean, they'll hit shots that are fat, or they'll hit shots that are thin, and a lot of times it's their release coming into the golf ball. They're hitting too much like this. They're hitting on the collapse. And when you hit on the collapse, you have a tendency to catch the ball on the upswing. So you're going to hit it thin. Or you're going to hit behind the ball and then hit on the collapse, so you may hit it fat. But ideally, what happens is when you come into impact, you want to square the back of the left hand. And you want to feel the left hand turning down, if you will. Okay, that's the feeling that you want to get the proper release. And when you do that, Colby, I mean, what do you feel with the swing band?
Yeah, you can definitely feel if there's any, you can feel that at this point the tension level has changed. I mean, you can really sense that. And as you're swinging, especially in slow motion, it keeps the hands right where they need to be at that point.
Yep. Now, when you come through the ball, you know, what you're looking for in a correct release is you're looking for some point of extension here. When you see players that have flipped the ball or flipped their wrist through the ball, you're going to see this kind of a motion here. And the wrists are hinging up real quickly like that, and it's changing the tension of that swing band. But in a correct release, you have the club face square to the arc, you're released to a point of extension there, and you're going to really feel that in the swing band, aren't you?
Oh, you sure can, and you can even see it here. If I flip my wrist too hard this way or that way, I can see the red, and it says right there, never see red, so it keeps it pretty simple.
And when you come through, you want the same green showing that you had when you addressed the ball. But that's the release through the golf ball, so important. Not letting it cross over this way, flipping it where you're going to have a tendency to hook it, not flipping it this way where you're going to hit it fat or thin, but releasing it so that you get a nice point of extension here. That's the most powerful position that you can be in post-impact, if you will, because now you've got all your energy going, you know, into the back of the ball and then through the ball. And that's going to give you more power, and it's going to give you more accuracy. And the swing band definitely helps you feel that.
Yeah, absolutely. And even just a quick tip there, just to really feel that, you can wrap it around the butt end of the club. And on the way through, again, you can feel a little pressure.
All right. So when you put it around the butt end of the club, you just, let's show everybody here.
Okay.
You just got it like that, wrapped it around the butt end.
Instead of just around the wrist, yeah, absolutely. Just put it right around the butt end. If we can catch it on that camera there, we go from here around the wrist to just wrapping around the butt end.
Okay, and then you go through there like that. You're going to really feel that extension. You kind of feel like it's
pushing up.
The handle's coming up and the club head's extending down. In a poor release, you tend to see a lot of this.
Yep.
Okay. So here you're going to see a little bit more of an extension through the golf ball, and that's going to really help you hit more solid shots also.